What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show, West Coast Popcast, bringing you episode 3 of the X-Men 97. Can't wait to watch it with you guys, hear what you guys thought and everything. The review coming on right now.
Previously on X-Men.
That was definitely not the easiest route into the intro that I wanted. But X-Men 97 review, your boy is the final boss, the main man, Zach. 2 weeks in now, 3 episodes. Zach, quick initial thoughts, man. How'd you enjoy the episode?
I enjoyed it a lot. I see why they showed the first three at the premiere here in Hollywood. They all tied together really nicely, and it was a nice cap on the precedent set by the first two.
Really was. It's a great opening arc, and I'm really enjoying. I was telling Zach in our messages the pacing of the show. We're hitting so many different beats and getting things to things quickly, but also setting up so much. Like there's so much character stuff that's getting set up with the whole array of the cast.
Yeah. Like I just want to point out too. I know there's some stuff online already, people complaining about how this storyline seemed rushed. This is exactly what you do in these animated episodes. Is exactly how they did it in the Spider-Man '90s show, Batman the animated series, everything. You bring these characters in, you get out, and you work on your core people, the X-Men. So I was a big fan of how they handled this.
That is true. And again, there's so many characters that are going to be popping in and out. That's kind of the excitement of the show when you have such a big cast. Um, and then again, the original X Men. How many episodes was it a season? I want to see if I can pull that up real quick because
Yeah, see if we can pull up. I think it was like around 20. I know
yeah, because
season
that's
five was cut short, which
yeah,
was thankful.
season 5. That's the thing people got to understand too. Um, yeah, so season 1. Oh, it was 13 episodes for season 1 of the original. Uh, yeah, it wasn't too long. I was gonna make a point, but I guess I was gonna
That's
say
okay.
where do we get that many seasons? But I guess it doesn't work that way. 20 episodes season 4 because we're only getting 10 episodes for this one, so it's gonna be things a little bit rushed. It's kind of like the new storytelling of the modern day of filming and like animation and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, jumping into it, Madeline Pryor, Beast is on point in the first few minutes. He dissects it. Hey, you're a clone. Says it to her face, and she doesn't handle it well. Um, in the comics, do you understand, or do you know why they? I know they're clones, but is there a reason more than just being clones why they share memories and they can't decipher whose is whose?
That I don't know. I just know initially it was set up to be an out, so Scott could have a happy ending after the Phoenix Saga because that was a big deal, and I think they kind of wrote themselves into a corner. So, otherwise, if someone knows in the comments why that was what it was, let us know because that's a ways back to go.
Yeah. I did see when I was looking at this episode too. The original, there's some changes to some Easter eggs. Definitely jump in here and let us know some of their Easter eggs you might have found. Some of the changes were when this initially happened with Madeline Pryor, Jean Grey was dead, so that kind of made things a little simpler for the characters. Now things are since they're both kind of existing right now, it's gonna be a little more confusing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Beast on the case. Madeline Pryor takes it the wrong way. She looking like she's trying to strangle the real Jean. Uh, And of course, it gets quickly revealed that Mr. I gotta point this out. Zach, who put that microphone there? Why does he have a microphone in her room? Who put that phone?
Man, look, when you make a person, you keep tabs on that person. All right. I got a little in my hand right here. There's microphones, there's cameras, there's everything in the room to keep tabs on him, knock. You got to.
Mr. Sinister out here. The one thing that I did find just a slight bit confusing, besides Morph, it felt like everyone was getting introduced to Mr. Sinister. Like he didn't already exist to them. I know it's a new show, it's a relaunch, so to the audience you want to present him as someone new, but it kind of seemed like some of the characters did not know who he was. I don't know if you caught that as well.
A little bit, which is fine because I like that it's connected to the series. So go back and watch it because it's a great series.
Yeah. But yeah, one of the craziest villains, rumored to be the main villain of the upcoming X-Men in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So definitely get used to this guy hanging around. Um, and was that his actual origins being like just a mad scientist type guy who's mutated some of the mutants over hundreds of years to alter his way and why he's still around?
Yeah, they glossed over pretty well, especially with all like the redos of his origin and all that stuff. So I think they did a good job to make you go back and check out the comics and on there. And let me just hit the chats really quick because it looks like we got a good fan here. Ed Fries loved the comic stories they're pulling in. I agree, Ed Fries. I'm sure Knock does too. And remember that season 5 was done last second with a whole new crew, a crew of monkeys. That was trash. But I got you, Ed Fries. I got you. It was last second. And they're adapting long comic storylines, and it was a baby monitor. That's true. And last one, Ed. Glad you're in the chat, Ed. I'm not sure if any of the other X-Men were introduced to Sinister. His introduction story was the second to last episode of season 5. So
Really, he was that long in the
he was.
original?
He was. Ed, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm almost positive he was in season 1.
I could have sworn he was in there. I mean, maybe confusing with the other X-Men I watched. I know he was in Wolverine and the X-Men as well, but I could have sworn he was in the original one for a little more than just the last season.
What's up, Mr. Blade Blackout? Let us know in the comments. Ed Fries, I'm pretty sure he was in the very first season, and he had the mutants on there, the big guy who's purple with a long purple trench coat and the hair and all that stuff. And but yeah, there's a lot to cover in the X-Men original series.
Definitely. But yeah, going on through most of the show, we had Madeline Pryor freak out, and I don't think she actually called herself Madeline in the beginning. She went straight for the Goblin Queen. I don't know who gave her that idea, but straight for the nickname, straight for the moniker, and she took it over and made a house of horrors in the X Mansion. I love the animation here. There's a part here when she brought him down to real down low, and they were all freaking out. Bishop got hit with a ray with Cyclops' ray, and he powered up. I thought that was kind of cool. I love the way they're using the powers and getting kind of creative with it.
Yeah, they're making it teamwork. It's almost like playing Marvel's Ultimate Alliance in this show. I love it.
Yeah, so I'm loving that. Before I throw it to you, I got to make a point about Cyclops. First 2 episodes, I still love him. Don't get me wrong. I still love him. They made him seem like such a strong leader, a great leader. 3rd episode, this man getting whooped. You know, he's losing his kid. Thought his wife is beating him up now. He doesn't know what's going on anymore. He's letting Magneto take control. He went for a whole world spin here. But
because Cyclops was never right. That's why. Come correct. It's brand new, 2024. I know it's until 97. Don't walk in to the Goblin Queen's debut with a tucked-in polo shirt to your dress pants.
You better show up correct. Yeah, Ed Fries again. Apocalypse is the main villain, but he was behind the scenes villain. Yeah, and that's we're gonna bring up when we get to the Easter eggs portion of our review. I know there's another change in the comics. Instead of Mr. Sinister being the one to poison who would eventually be Cable, they said it was Apocalypse in the original comics. So that was another one of the changes. How'd you feel about this whole X-Men X-Mansion scene?
I thought it was cool. Whoever thinks that they can remake Nightmare on Elm Street, watch this, please.
Yeah, I thought it was, again, really, really well done. And I love the introduction. I know people are saying it's rushed, but I thought it was paced very well. Like, we're using all of the 30 minutes. I don't feel like there's any wasted scenes. So, yeah.
No, because again, it ties into the first 2 episodes, which again was the reason the 3 were shown at the premiere of X-Men 97 in Hollywood.
Yeah, and what I loved back in the day watching these cartoon shows, whether it was like Justice League or Justice League Unlimited, for example, Spider-Man or the original X-Men, even Batman animated series, there were so many different story arcs within the seasons that I thought were just so well done, and it was able to tell a story in a better way than just going episode to episode to episode. It had the branching arcs I thought were really well done. I think that's what they're bringing back here. The show's doing really well. 4 million views in the first few hours, so they're killing it.
And it's adding to every other animated show on Disney Plus, so it's doing its job. And also, I don't know if this is going to go past season 3. It might, because it's doing so well, but I don't think they want it to get too tangled up in the X-Men movies when those start up 4 or 5 years from now. So that's why we are going to quote unquote rush storylines like Madeline Pryor.
I would hate to see this end. Like when Disney bought Marvel back in the day, they canceled the Spectacular Spider-Man, and it canceled Wolverine and the X-Men. And those 2 seasons of both shows were so amazing. I don't want to see them cut this one short too. But listen, we could have a world where it exists. We can have the cartoon and the movie. We're not going to get confused, man. Just do it. But yeah, towards the end here, to jump back and forth, we did have a storm sighting, if you will. And I think we're gonna get her in this episode, but we did towards the end, and that's gonna get some other stuff and get to the Easter eggs as well. Zach, anything else on Mr. X or Mr. Sinister and anyone else before we get to the Easter eggs?
Not really. I thought it was well done. I like the voice for everyone, and I like how they animated the Goblin Queen in those fight scenes. They kind of really showcase some stuff, and I'm sure those who have their fan art really enjoyed how they showcased her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, some Easter eggs.
before we get there, someone thinks it'd be better if they had who in there. More Morph? Is that what you're saying? Gambit is my savior? I'm thinking more Morph, possibly. I don't know.
Listen, Morph's been killing it.
Well, he's trying to do something in this episode. Some flops in the chat for Eric. Let me just say this: if Gambit's your savior, don't go into that danger room. Oh, yikes! Yes, Wednesdays are. I love having this on during the week, Mr. Alpower. I agree. Nanu, Lost Starbug.
Oh man! Shout out to everybody in chat, man. Really appreciate you all guys jumping in here. Shout out my guy. But yeah, I'll get right back into it again here. You guys are killing me, man. Speaking of Storm and the person she met at the end of the episode, Zach Forge. Who is this guy?
Yes. Forge is going to be part of Life Death 1 and 2. It is a very cool comic series, two series right there. You get the issues, and it is going to be the name of 2 episodes. Part of next one, I think, is going to be it, and then it'll continue. This is going to be pretty important. They did have a relationship. If you want to look it up, again, these are things that are going to get touched on. So you can go on Marvel.com. You can read omnibuses. You can even do something more important, which is go to your local comic book store and search out these issues, or omnibuses, or whatever, trade paperbacks, whatever this generation calls them. But it's going to be an important tie-in here to what's going to happen with the rest of the season and bringing Storm back.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this because this is a story I don't really know too much about, so I'm very excited to see it like unfold on screen, and then maybe I'll check out these comics afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to this guy, and I did see some stuff when I was looking up for this episode. Of course, getting the research, got to do it. I saw that he was the one actually who made that gun that for the military, for the government, that takes out mutants' powers or suppresses them. So he'd be right up that alley to know how to cure a storm, if you will.
I hope so. I mean, if you make it, you better know how to cure it. And yeah, I love these news stories too, Mr. Allpower.
Yeah. Also, real quick, I noticed from last week's review, my audio, I do apologize for that. It was awful. I don't know what happened. So if I'm having any audios, let us know how our audio is going in this review, and we're gonna keep this episode 3 review going. Next Easter egg we did find here. Zach found this actually.
I'm sorry, I was gonna say, speaking of awful, who wants little ball kids running around, huh? Who wants that Lost Starbug? Seriously. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
I can't slide my boy Egg, but that was funny. Zach found these Easter eggs here. Some similarities between some of the shots in the show and comic covers.
Yeah, they popped out right away for me. I had to pause it and take those are screenshots of the old TV, and I have these issues. They're just they're packed up right now. I wish I could do it during the live stream, but maybe during next week, so I'll pull them out this weekend. But yeah, they're doing a good job. There's a couple more in there, so let us know in the comments if you found some more comic issue covers that they reference to give you kind of a taste of what you should check out.
Yeah, really good stuff here. A little. I thought this was a PG show, but some of those stuff they're showing Rogue and Magneto and Gambit's dreams, man, haunting stuff.
Yep.
What we got next up here for you guys? And then this one, another one Zach found. Were they watching the 90s Spider-Man?
This is a guess. This is just a guess. I took a screenshot of this too, and just it looks like Gwen Stacy. It looks like it could be Peter Parker or someone else from the Spider-Man 90s show. But it just, to me, this is just what it was, a reference. But I know in the series, Spider-Man from the 90s is canon, so it probably isn't. But to me, this is what it looked like. I just put the Gwen Stacy up there on the side. So let us know what you think, if it was or if it was just something completely random.
That'd be crazy if it was. Hopefully it was something random because I want them to exist in the same world. I know they crossed over back in the 90s. And
Yeah.
with all this, man, call that guy. I'll put it out there again. Call that guy who wrote the original Spider-Man 90s because he's saying he's waiting by the phone. I want to see the remake, the reboot.
Why can Magneto touch Rogue, or why can he touch Rogue? Because he listens to New Edition. That's why.
You can do whatever you want there, man.
Mhm.
Oh man, but yeah, very good review or very good episode. At the end here, they go their separate ways here. Madeline Pryor going on off on her own, saying her goodbyes with Jean Grey as they try to untangle this web. Um, I do want to see more of Madeline Pryor as a villain. I will say that. I think it'll be kind of cool. I don't know where she goes in the comics after this, after her villain arc, but that'd be kind of cool to see them kind of get back to this eventually down the line. You know,
Yeah.
you have all these characters going different worlds right now. My boy Scott Summers, he went to the room. His room's all bagged up. His girl's gone. His kid's gone. This is looking poor. Jean, when she walked back to the room,
Cyclops
she
was
didn't wanna be
right.
there.
Yeah.
She didn't want to be there no more when she walked back to the room.
No. Unbelievable. Madeline Pryor didn't want to be there. She
Yeah.
left. She took off. "Oh, I'm not leaving my son. I can't take this. I'm leaving." He leaves the room after he says he's not going to abandon his son. Get out of here, Cyclops. You were never right.
Oh my goodness, that's another thing. So, as you guys were watching, my boy Bishop is gone as well. He saved up his juice from the watch, took Cable to the future,
Yeah.
and they're gone for a bit to save him, of course. So that's gonna be very interesting down the line. I think eventually we'll see Cable, come back. So that'll be interesting. A grown-up full Nathan Summers. Who else is going on their separate paths here? We haven't seen too much of Beast yet. He's kind of been like a little more in the background. But I'm curious to see who gets the next shine in these coming up episodes.
Yeah, I love some of the shine too. We didn't put Stills in here because we had some stuff going on today. But Morph turned into two people, Magic and was it Spiral's the other one?
Yeah.
So very cool. Again, using Morph to bring in characters you don't need to do full storylines with, but you can reference and check out comic stuff.
I absolutely love it, man. These morphings, if you will, are really good stuff. So yeah, now we'll see what happens with Jean Grey and how she kind of copes with this. Do you have any guesses for when they will go with when she got swapped out?
I think maybe at the end of the season, or maybe to set up a battle, I guess, with Sinister. But yeah, I'm not too familiar on the evolution of Madeline Pryor and what she does afterwards. I did play her and Spiral a lot in Marvel vs. Capcom. Great characters to play. But I just want to take note on what the Goblin Queen did. She changed her name, something we all should do now that tax season's coming up. You can call me Madeline Pryor. Goblin Queen, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, that's some funny stuff there, man. But all in all, I still think the first two episodes were like top notch, couldn't miss. This is still a good one, but I think I'll put it like just a notch below the first two. But it wrapped up the story.
Yeah, it did. And again, just it's a nice 3-part cap, but you can't have 3 episodes air first date.
Yeah. Well, everyone in chat, man, thank you guys for jumping in for the review here. Zach, you have any final thoughts to wrap up this episode 3 review?
Just keep letting us know. There's a whole lot out there. Got it, Fries. Other people letting us know what's going on. Backstories with the comics and the cartoon, because it's been a while since we've touched either one of those. So let us know in the comments if we mess something up or if you know more about it. We will read your comments. So we'd love to hear from you.
We definitely will, man. Thank you all for jumping in there. Gambit Wolverine, man, get them some help. And hey, after this week, Scott Summers, my boy Cyclops, is joining that group. He's gonna be in there with them drinking.
The losers.
Oh man, only one getting some right now is Magneto. But shout out to everyone watching X-Men. We're gonna keep it going. See you guys next week for episode 4. Really appreciate you guys in the chat. From the main man Zach to the final boss Knock, the only final boss. Peace out. See you guys next week.
Later, bub.